Hi, my name is Sandy Eichel. I write and speak about leaving a life of should so that we can all live more authentic and joyful lives. Today, we're going to talk about forgiving the ongoing hurt that people in our lives sometimes cause us. It is complicated to forgive people who may very well do the same thing again, and that's why we call it forgiving the mess. Forgiving the mess is the process of letting go of this past pain of these experiences, forgiving that person so that we can set ourselves free. One of the major obstacles to forgiving the mess is the attachment to our stories. Our stories can be wildly inaccurate, but our minds are very good at attaching to these stories that we have written and convincing us that they are true and that they will always be true. Our mind is trying to protect us, but these stories are very harmful to us, and attachment to them does not allow us to forgive others, ourselves, or be happy. For example, if I've written a story that every holiday will be horrible because I will screw something up and my mother will criticize me and I will never be able to enjoy the holidays, I will find instances every time I see my mom during the holidays and otherwise to reinforce that story. I won't allow myself to enjoy the holidays because I've already written the story of how it will go. I have also attached to every negative experience about my mom and the holidays, and I think about those instances over and over again. This is what I call frothing up the milk. We attach to this story, we hold it close to us, we tend to it, and we nurture it so that it will grow. We tell anyone who will listen, and we repeat it over and over, out loud and to ourselves. We adore this story. It grows and strengthens over time, and when we revisit it, we get upset all over again. It starts to define us and our actions. That is when we are totally stuck in the story. Now, this is not to be confused with telling your story to free yourself of it. It can be powerful to tell your story, and it can be powerful for others to hear it. That isn't what we're talking about. We are talking about the obsessive attachment to something from our past that keeps us trapped. The way you can tell the difference is that stories are always about self-pity. If you have ever had a friend complain to you about the same thing over and over again, and every time you ask a question or try to give some advice, they say that won't work because of XYZ. They are stuck in the story. Now, everyone makes up stories, but they don't serve us well, and they certainly don't let us forgive others. A big part of forgiveness is acknowledging that this is a story that we've created and consciously deciding that we aren't going to let it control us anymore. To get unstuck, we have to stop focusing on the problem and look for a solution. Acknowledging the pain that you've been through and the hurt that is caused by others is important, but how long you stay focused on that pain is really the issue. So that's the acceptance piece of forgiving the mess. I acknowledge that this pain has happened and I decide that I want to let it go. The second step is finding a solution. You have the option of talking to the person in your life that has caused this pain or is still causing it. And this is really challenging. You might think that it might make it worse, or you simply don't want to go through the displeasure of sitting down with this person and hashing it out. Could it make it worse? I guess. But how much pain is this behavior causing you now without talking about it? You can't know how someone will react. They will likely not immediately be able to hear you and change their behavior. Fair enough, but you can try. Telling someone in your life how what they did or do makes you feel is hard, but is also a great practice of self-love. Standing up for yourself in a calm and solid way builds confidence in you. If it isn't possible, or you just simply cannot talk to the other person, your only other choice is to let it go completely. Accept the situation for what it is, accept the person for who they are, potentially limit your exposure to them, and let go of this balloon that you have held onto so tightly for so long. If you are around them and the behavior returns, you can breathe to ground yourself. You can tell them that you don't want to be talked to that way. You can leave, but you don't harbor the pain. Likely, either way you choose, your brain will try to repeat this story again, and you need to catch yourself. Remind yourself of what you're consciously trying to do. Breathe and continue practicing to let it go. Praise yourself for catching the repeating story and for working on it. I will often say to myself, "Nice catch." The pathways in your brains have made deep ruts in the road, and it will take some time to start driving out of those ruts. But the more you practice, the more you will feel like you can let go of this past pain, and the more you can forgive the other person. Forgiveness can be incremental, so know that it is a long process, but it is so worth it for both you and the other person.